and welcome. My name is Jill and I'm so thrilled that you've tuned into my YouTube channel. This is my very first video on YouTube and I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself before I delve into what I propose to do on this YouTube channel. So first things first, I turned 40 this year and I love skincare. I've been definitely dabbling in botox and fillers and all sorts of different skincare products over the last 5 years. I was enjoying the effects of botox and fillers until I found that they started to make me look like a slightly different person. So I quit and I haven't done anything in terms of injections to my face for over a year now. So I've got no Botox or any fillers left in my face. And I'm definitely starting to notice some of those fine lines creep in, especially in this area in my forehead. So what am I going to do about it? Well, that's what this YouTube channel is all about, because I have an idea and I want to see if it works or not. So here it is. What I propose to do over the next year is to see if a series of PRP facials or vampire facials done at home will keep my skin looking fresh, plump, free of fine lines and wrinkles. So this is a pretty crazy concept, doing a vampire facial at home. Of course, I'm going to be using a nurse to draw my blood. I would not recommend that anyone draw their own blood at home. But what I am going to do at home that's maybe a little bit out of the ordinary is I'm going to use my own platelet rich plasma, which is derived from my blood, after a microneedling treatment, which I will also do at home with my microneedling pen. So this is a common treatment that is done fairly routinely in aesthetic clinics, in some plastic surgery clinics as well. And it involves a motorized microneedling pen with about 12 to 36 needles on the end, which basically you run over your skin in sort of a circular motion and you create these tiny channels that allow your products, or in this case, the platelet rich plasma, to sink in and really do its work at a deep level. So instead of resorting to fillers and Botox to keep my skin looking fresh and plump over this next year, I'd like to find out if I can achieve these same results by using my own PRP and a microneedling pen. So today is October 23rd, 2019. So I am making a promise to you today that I will not touch Botox or fillers for the next year. And I'd love for you to come along on this journey with me to see if I can maintain healthy, young looking skin. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take off all my makeup. I'm going to numb my skin with an over-the-counter numbing agent, and I'm going to walk you through the steps of doing a PRP facial at home. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back with a very numb face. I wanted to take a quick minute to explain a little bit about my setup. In subsequent videos, I'm going to take you guys through, all the fine details of how to microneedle safely at home. But just to give you just a quick rundown, I always use gloves. I put my hair up and I put it up in a headband to keep all my hair away from my face. Of course, I'm going to cleanse my skin with 70% alcohol. It's not fun, but it's very necessary. The other things I have sort of on my sort of tray here, this is my microneedling pen. It's a doctor pen. Again, I will tell you lots more about how I found this pen and where to get it. I use rose water spray to keep my face nice and moist while I'm running the microneedling pen over it. because you need a bit of lubrication to keep the needle moving. And I also use a bit of hyaluronic acid. And of course, star of the show, my PRP. I put it into this little dropper, if you can see, just to make it easier for me to apply it as I go along. Okay, so here I am, totally makeup free, and I wanted to zoom in so that you could really get a good look at what my skin is like at this stage. Okay, so we've got a nice close-up of my skin. Hopefully you can sort of see the things I'm talking about. So the area above my eyebrows and in between my eyebrows, you can see that I have some fine lines, some static fine lines beginning there. And in the past, I've used Botox to great effect, but I couldn't do things like this. I suppose these are the lines that I'm most skeptical whether PRP can have a big impact there, because the skin on my forehead is so thin. I just wonder if I'm going to see much collagen buildup there. But hey, that's what this is all about, right? So the other area that I really want to focus on are my nasolabial folds. And again, when I had filler up here, it just drew those lines right out of my skin. And now they're definitely starting to creep back. So when I'm microneedling, I'm going to pay a lot of attention to this area and up here in my forehead. You can see I don't have a ton of crow's feet, really. So that's not like a huge area of concern for me, but of course, everybody as they age get crow's feet, so I will be microneedling in this area. So one area that I find which really responded well to microneedling in the past for me was underneath my eyes, in this sort of eye trough area. I've definitely noticed some hollowness in that region as I age, and I'm really hoping that microneedling with PRP can restore some of that volume. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna take PRP, and I'll just tell you the areas that I'm gonna start today are gonna be on this side of my face, kind of in the fattier regions. I like to start here because it's not quite as painful. If you haven't done microneedling before, the forehead is not the most fun part, but I do have a good numbing, or I had a good numbing cream on my face, so I'm feeling nice and numb. So I'm just going to take this and just kind of dribble it over my skin, try to get it sort of good and slippery for when I start putting the needle over it. So I'll tell you guys when I'm changing depth, but for right now, I'm gonna start at a 0.5 and work my way up, hopefully to at least a 1.5, maybe a 1.75 if I'm feeling really brave. And as for speed, I usually use like a 3 or 4. So see, I just go in like kind of small circles. I'm at a 0.5 on my cheek. I can't feel anything, so I am gonna bump it up. And you can already see, hopefully, that I'm getting a nice redness, no bleeding. Actually, while I have it on a 0.5, I'm gonna go into this tear trough area, because you don't wanna be going in this area anything deeper than a 0.5 in my opinion. The skin is just too sensitive, or it's too thin, really. So whenever you start to feel the needle slipping a bit, you've got to pack on more PRP. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Definitely getting like pink, but no bleeding. I don't usually bleed when I'm working at a 0.5. So I'm going to bring it up to a 1 because I'm going to be going into, like I said, some of the fattier areas of my skin, like in my cheeks. Even at a 1, I'm very comfortable, and I'm getting a nice redness, but still no pinpoint bleeding. If you can see the difference between the two sides of my face. One is getting this nice kind of uniform pinkness, and like I said, I'm working at a 0.1, so in this area in my nasolabial folds where I want to go a bit deeper, I'm going to increase the depth. Okay, so 1.25, still very comfortable. These little marionette lines too, just on the sides of my mouth. That's a key spot that I want to get. You can see I kind of change up my style from time to time. I go in circles, I go in lines. Again, I'm just trying to achieve that uniform pinkness so that I know that I've gotten all the spots. So I'm pretty happy with the again, the uniformity of the color. I am going to go up to a 1.5 and just really work on these nasolabial folds and the marionette lines that I have starting. I'm actually going to see if I can tolerate a 1.75 here. It's prickly, but I'm okay. So I'm just going to get a little closer to the camera so you can see. See, it's not so bad. It's just a little bit red. Okay, next side of my face. So just so you know, the amount of PRP that I'm working with right now is about 7 millimeters. So in my experience, it's quite a lot to I will usually have enough to do my neck and my chest if I want to. I always do this treatment right before I go to bed so that I can sleep with basically a mask of PRP on my skin. So just so you know, so I'm pretty well done with the left side of my face, so I'm just really packing on the PRP so that it soaks into all those little micro channels that I created. Start at 1.25 on this side of my face, the right side. I really can't stress enough that this is not uncomfortable. Like, no pain. I mean, I haven't done my forehead yet, so that's why. I'm gonna, actually, you know what? I'm going to go down to about 0.75, and I'm gonna do my tear trough area. Another technique that you can use if you are not really getting like the glide that you want, or the skin is kind of crepey, like my under eye skin is, you can also just kind of stamp. If you're not getting that glide, or if it's painful and you just want to kind of ease into it. But yeah, it's a tricky area. So I think you can probably see I got pretty, got a little bit of bleeding underneath my right eye. But yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with the depth that I went under my right eye. It'll be interesting tomorrow to see if I have more bruising under this eye than on this eye. Okay, I'm going back up to 1.5, and I'm gonna get the rest of the right side of my face done. You'll notice that when the PRP starts to dry on your skin, it feels really kind of tight and weird. But that's also sort of the effect of the microneedling as well. It will make your skin feel kind of tight and hot. Okay, I feel like I'm getting a good, nice glow here. Call that a glow. It's pretty red. I'm going to do one more application of PRP on this side. Really focus again on the nasolabial folds and marionette lines, and then move on to the forehead. Guys, I'm really surprised that I'm not bleeding more. I'm at a 1.75 on both sides of my face. I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, on to the forehead. Super fun. I'm going to start out at a 0.75. See how that feels. The area right in between my eyebrows is where I have the most fat under my skin, so I'm going to start there. It's tolerable. It's not that fun. So you can see too, like how red this is getting. I'm only at a 0.75 here. Got a bit of pinpoint bleeding, not too much yet. Do try to get like right in on the top of my nose there, like just at the where the bridge meets my forehead, because I could get those little bunny lines. They're pretty tiny, but it's kind of a hard area to get into. Oh, one area you can't forget are your eyebrows. PRP and microneedling is actually really good for hair regrowth. So if you're looking to build up your eyebrows, you should really go to town in this area. And who doesn't want bigger eyebrows right now? I sure do. Totally go kind of on the upper eyelid. But again, right, you can hear that. That's how you know that you're working on a very thin skin area. Okay, one more application and pass through my forehead, and then I think I'm gonna call it quits. Oh, microneedling your forehead is so much fun. But as I said before, I mean, it is like the area that I really want to see if I can get rid of some fine lines. So I can't be a wimp about it. And seriously, it's not that bad. Maybe I should just start on my forehead and get it over with. What do you think? I'm done. Okay, so I'll just give you a bit of a closer look. So some bleeding for sure on my forehead, but not that uncomfortable. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me for tonight. I'm gonna take this last little bit of PRP and put it all over my face before I go to sleep at night. And then I'll just wash it off with water in the morning. And I will check in with you first thing so that you can see what my skin looks like the morning after. Good morning. So I thought I would just do a quick wrap up so that you can see what my skin looks like roughly 12 hours after my microneedling session with PRP last night. You can probably tell that this area under my right eye, which I had talked about last night as probably being a little bit more bruised than this side, definitely is. And the area right in between my eyebrows here too is looking pretty red, which is all good. Like right now, I'm really happy with my results so far. I feel like I can definitely go out in public and not look too beat up. So that's good. In terms of aftercare, I like to keep it really simple in the days after I do microneedling. That means, to the extent that I can avoid it, no makeup, no heavy lotions. One product that I really like to use is, it's by The Ordinary, Decium. It's 100% organic rosehip seed oil. Hope you can see that. It's a really nice oil formulation that I find keeps my skin feeling hydrated and more comfortable. In the days after a microneedling session, you may find that your skin feels tight, almost like a bad sunburn. So anything you can do to sort of keep it feeling more comfortable and hydrated is good, but I like to stick to using natural products. So like a vitamin E oil is also a good idea. If you are going to be in the sun after microneedling, you really need to be careful that you don't get too much sun. In fact, if you can avoid it, that's really the best approach. If I'm going to be in the sun after microneedling, I always use a mineral-based sunscreen. Again, The Ordinary makes a pretty good one, but it is kind of white. If you have used mineral-based sunscreens, you probably know what I'm talking about. So when I don't want that whiteness, I actually use this Amphelios mineral sunscreen, and it's tinted. So that's a really good option if you want like a little bit of coverage. If you have some bruising or some red marks like I do, then definitely opt for a tinted mineral sunscreen. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see sort of more in depth like what my skin looks like. So I definitely look a little rough around the edges. And this will definitely kind of darken up in the next day or two, I think, as will probably these areas. Typically my recovery time from microneedling at this depth is about 4 days. The first day I usually look red. The second day I start to maybe get a little bit darker in terms of like a bit more like a bruised look. And then around the third and fourth day, typically my skin peels, which is really good. And that's how you know that you went to a good depth for microneedling, because your skin's starting to turn over. So if I have any peeling in the next couple of days, I'll pop back on here and I'll show you guys what that looks like. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you so much for showing up, and I will see you next time.